Hey guys, so today I have a story time for you. I don't. Okay, anyway, um, so on Friday morning, a week ago today, I wake up and I'm getting ready for work in a rush, but I go to the bathroom and I'm like about to put on my deodorant and I don't wear makeup to work, but wash my hands and whatever. And I look in the mirror and I notice that my eye is like nasty, like nasty. So on Friday morning, it was like gross, and like I'll put a picture in of like what it looked like, but you can't really see it in the photo because obviously it wasn't intended for that. It was just a photo. But I'm gonna try. And so I go to work, but I'm like really self-conscious about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, should I even be going to work? Like, what if this spreads around? And like, I don't want to get the kids sick. So I'm like really nervous, but I go to work and I'm working a weird shift. Like every day I work 8:30 to 5:30, but today I worked that day I worked 7:45 to what should be to 4:45. But I get to work, and so I've never gotten pink eye before. I've never worked that shift before. I was like, okay, strange. So I get to work, and I'm talking to my coworker, and I'm like, hey, like, look at my eye. Like, it's pretty nasty. Should I even be here? And she's like, go talk to our supervisor. So I'm like just talking around at work, trying to figure out what to do. And eventually it comes that my supervisor tells me that as soon as the next staff member comes in, I should skedaddle and go see a doctor for my eye. So I'm like, perfect, works for me. Half day on Friday, nice, all right. So I decide to leave work. Well, not decide, I don't know. I leave work and I go to a walk-in clinic. So the only walk-in clinic I know in the city is one that I went to on New Year's when I had messed up my ankle from who knows what. Still don't know what happened that night. But anyway, my ankle was fucked. So I go to the walk-in clinic, and that was the only walk-in clinic I knew. So I decided to go to that one. So, yeah, I'm taking a different path home at a different time of day. So it's just weird. Like, all these weird different coincidences. All right? Keep that in mind. It's vital to the story, okay? Coincidence, coincidence, coincidence. Where are they going? Okay, so I leave work, I'm going down, and I'm taking Jean Laurier across, and I'm, just doing my thing, like, yeah, I get to go home early on a Friday, woohoo! And then I stop at the light, and to my left, there's an overpass. Overpass. And there's this girl standing there, and she's just, like, standing on the edge, and I'm kind of like, bruh, how'd you even get there? Like, this is a highway, another highway, and, like, what could you possibly be doing there, and like what? I'm like super confused. So I roll down my window, I look out at her, and I ask her like if she's okay, but like the traffic is so loud. I'm like doing hand signals. I'm like, hey man, like, you okay and whatever. And she just like looks me dead in the eye and just like shakes her head. So I was like, okay, all right. I was like, okay, coincidence, 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 coincidence. I'm pulling over. So I pull over and I throw on my Thorite flashers and I hop out of my car. I run over to her. I'm like, hey man, like, what's going on? And she's like, just before you stopped, I was gonna jump. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not prepared for this. But I'm like freaking out. So I'm like, hey, it's like super cold out. It's been like minus 27 like for the past 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, come to my car, let's talk about this. And she's like, yeah, okay. So I pull her like off the overpass and I get her into my car and I just like turn to her and I'm like, what is going on, my friend? And so we're just like chatting there. I don't even know how long we talked for, honestly, but we just like talked and had some really meaningful conversations, and she told me about her whole life and what it had been like for her, and it just was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. Like, I understand why she was in that position, and I was just like devastated. I was like, what am I gonna do to help this girl? Like, I don't even know. And so after a while of just like talking and me trying to just praying and trying to get like any kind of insight I possibly can, she like looks at me and she's like, I really don't think I can do this. Can you drive me to a hospital? And I'm like, absolutely. of course. So I take her to the hospital, I take her to the Foothills, and I spend my day waiting for her to be admitted. So I sit with her in the waiting room and talk to the doctors with her and everything, and it was just like so wild, honestly. So wild. And eventually she's admitted. I give her a big hug. I gave her my name and my number and any way to get in contact with me. And it was just, that was just a wild day. So yeah, that's my quick little life update and wild story time. So I don't know if that's entertaining or not, but it's what I got for today. And neither of you have uploaded in an eon, which is no judgment, I get it. So I don't even know. Oh my gosh, I'm such a mess. I'm exhausted. I haven't eaten. I've picked up smoking again, so I'm pretty out of it currently because it's cold, and once again I haven't eaten and I've a lot of nicotine. Okay,